Hi. Have you thought how much we actually need? I was woken up when I started to look in YouTube videos now that the autumn has come, that actually almost all channels sell something. They compare things to this, to that, and then they say that one is better than the other, or one is suitable for something, and the other one is not suitable for that thing. But in the end, they all sell something, either like straight on, like this is good, buy this, or then they make this kind of comparisons and like mask it to the thing that they try things so you don't have to, and you can just buy the perfect thing that is suitable for you. But that's the point. You can buy thing that is suitable for you, and that's something that is playing trick to our minds. I caught myself thinking that I need a new blush. I definitely need a pink blush. I have 3 blushes already, and none of them is pink, but still, there is more blush than I will need next 10 years. And I don't know. I'm quite sure that nobody can tell what color of blush is in my cheeks right now. Because, well, actually, I'm not in that business. That's not my product. I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not a model. I'm not somebody that tries to like make a statement on how they look. I just want to look alive. And for that I put blush on my cheeks so I won't be so pale. But I don't need one blush would be enough. I don't even need the second and the third one. But it's very easy to think that, well, one more doesn't matter. And they show something that is very pretty, and they say that it's fabulous and it's good and it makes you look like a princess and you are all like new. And on top of that, that's new. And that's one thing that they all say. It's new, it's new, it's new. But people have been wearing blushes like 200 years. The point is that they have add red color to their cheeks, and that's about it. So there aren't many, or for the last 10 years, many like revolutionary new product ideas that you couldn't wear the blush that you wore 10 years ago. Of course, they say that they expire, but where does a dry dust expire except more dry dust? And that's totally a different thing. I don't want to even go there. But the point is, I have one of something. In this case, I have 3. Do I need 4th? Of course I don't. It's ridiculous. And why am I even thinking about it? If I wouldn't look at this channel, I never even would think that I would need even a second blush. So they really play tricks to our minds. And when I started this channel, I watched the videos about lights. I have there a light because it's dark outside already and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So yes, I need light. And I have that one light. I got 2 lights in the price of 1, so I bought 2. But I'm only using right now 1. But then I watched the videos about lights because I didn't have any light. And I tried to film in a normal like ceiling light, but it looks horrendous. And I want it to be just a little bit better. So I invested in that. And now I have the light. But do I continue to look at the lighting videos and videos about lights? No, because I don't want to be lured to buy more lights and different kind of lights. And I can only use these 2. There is no reason for that I would have more lights. And that's maybe the one thing that helps us to draw the line. It's not just that something is small, so you have somewhere to put it. For example, would you buy a new bed? I'm sure that beds are. I have a almost 10-year-old bed, and it's really like out of date, and it's used beyond use. But I don't buy one unless I get rid of that. And right now I'm so stingy that I think that if we move, then I buy a new bed and then I toss that one. But what do you think about that? That you have one bed, would you buy another? No, of course not. If you don't have like 14 bedrooms, well, we don't. So can you buy multiple things even though you just use one if you just have the space for it? Would I buy 10 blushes just because I have a space for it? Because I only use one at a time? Of course, somebody can say that you can use 2 or 3 at a time. Well, I don't have the time. I only put on makeup in the morning and go to work. And that's my thing. That's very, like, I don't need more. And same thing is with clothes, or I have more clothes. I don't have very much, but I have more. But there are just 2 or 3 dresses that I almost always use. And that's something that I'm really ashamed of. You can see these videos. I'm almost always wearing one of my favorite clothes. And of course I have undergarment in it, so and they are washed frequently and that sort of thing. But I have my favorite clothes and I wear them. Even if I buy something new, it might not fit to my like inner circle with clothes. And then my daughter has it and it's gone. And but why is that? Why do we think that we need more, and by having more we would be more happy perhaps? But that's the main thing with these channels that sell something. They either sell something like straight on, so click a link and I will get portion of the money that you spent, and they make a living out of it, and that's okay. That's one thing. And then there are these comparison videos that compare different things, and then they say that something is better than something else. But do you need either of them? That's the question. So it's very well marketed, and we are like children, and it comes to our home. Before this social media, YouTube, internet, there was only commercials in TV. So you had a program and you watched the program, and then there was commercials, and they were like generic. They weren't focused on different groups, but there was something. They advertised coffee and milk and gas and maybe some clothes, but they were for everybody. So there wasn't a commercial for you. So when I, for example, go to YouTube and watch videos, it always suggests me the next video that is approximately the same genre, and then I would be interested in watching, and that sells something. So they are really focused on me. They know how old I am, where I live, what is my like viewing history. And that's like the sneaky thing. Because then I suddenly, if I just would click the next and next and next video, I would be watching like 15 videos of blushes and how new blushes are fabulous and wonderful, and what should I get of these new releases, when actually I don't need any of them. I love these videos that the creator Charlotte Holcroft makes. They are titled something like "You Don't Need Any of It," and she explains with humor that these are just the blush is the same blush. It's just a new shiny packaging, and don't let that lure you. If you already have a blush, don't buy it. And those are like, I don't know, they are funny, but they are so accurate at the same time. Because we don't need that. We don't need any of that. We have already more than enough. Have you bought something that you know that you actually don't need? Do you know that feeling that you think that you would be happier if you bought that when you actually know that you won't? Because the second that you open the new blush and you try it for the first time and then you put it in the drawer, the magic is gone. It's gone very quickly. That's one of the saddest things. I've noticed this from buying a car. I don't have a car. I had a car and I sold it. I didn't need it anymore. But people who are really obsessed about cars, so they find out this and that about cars and they are really enthusiastic and they go and test drive and then they think about the money and then they end up buying a car. And when you see them, like first when they got it, they are so happy and they just they keep patting the car and they are very happy. And when you see them after a few months, the car is full of rubbish and it's not very shiny anymore and it's not washed and they do not look after it like it would be the best decision they made in the whole year. And that's kind of sad. That tells me more than anything else about the person and the illusion that they really thought that they would be happier and better persons if they buy the car. And cars cost lots of money, much more than a new blush or new cardigan or new light. But still. And of course, if you say that who would buy another car, well, many people buy another car even though they can drive only one at a time. But I know that there are things that we need and there are things that we want. But thinking about who creates that need or who creates that want in you is interesting. I have had this period in my life that I didn't wear makeup, that I only wear jeans and a jumper and I didn't care about anything. I just had my hair in a bun in my neck. And it was somehow very easy. And I have sometimes I think that I should go back to that, to true minimalism. That you don't have piles of things, but you have only the necessary things. And you use only the very functional clothes that you don't have to buy again, and you decide in advance how many pairs of jeans does one person need. One that you wear and one that's in a wash. No more. But even now I have the same thing with towels and with bed linens, that I have 2 sets of linen. One is in my bed and one is in a wash. And when it's washed, then it's in a cupboard. And then a few for guests and a few for children. But for our bed, to the master bedroom, there are only 2 sets. And I refuse to get any more. Because they just take space. And for people who get more and more things that they don't actually need, the next phase is the declutter things. And those are, I somehow feel very anxious when I even see that kind of thing. It makes me feel bad. Like, how has somebody got to that point that they have spent their hard-earned money in a big scale to something that they are just willing to throw away? What was their value in the first place if they now just throw it away? It's somehow beyond my comprehension. Of course, I have my traumas. I am afraid of that day that I wouldn't have money to buy the basic things that I really need. And I don't talk about fourth blush now, but I talk about food. I'm talking about warm clothing that we need when it's winter and that sort of things. But to see somebody just throwing things away, it's a little bit of consolation that we can actually sell quite many things now. So if you plan to buy, or that's something that I want to do and I've actively done, I've sold things that we don't need. So if I want to, for example, if I would like to get a new lights, then I would definitely sell the old lights. So I don't just pile things and gather, and I want somebody else to be able to use it. Because of course there is this like point of view with the nature and about the resources and how much resources are we really consuming that aren't coming back like ever. This was something that I thought when we went to Greece, and I saw there was this hill, and then there was they have been taking marble from the hill, so there was just this straight line that had been cut. And I thought, well, the first thing in my mind was that how many times can they cut from that hill until it's no longer there? And that's like horrible idea if you think about it. If this town is surrounded by hills, and then those hills are like carved away little by little. I know that it takes a long time, and it's maybe not in my lifetime. Maybe it is. I still have maybe 15 years left. 50 years, not 15 years left. But what if that happens? That's a horrible idea. We don't have hills anymore. When there's a marble and all the marble has been carved away and put on a countertops and then just to wasteland. And that makes me really want to think about what I buy, and do I buy that kind of things and that are renewable. I know that trees grow from the land, and the wood that has been used can be brought back to the trees. It can be processed so that it comes back as soil. That's possible. I don't know. Does that happen very often nowadays? But it's possible. Trees don't end at the same way, but they actually do. Like, do you know how many trees there are in the UK and why there aren't so many? Because they were cut down to make ships in history. And that's awful idea too. If you cut too much trees out, they don't grow again, because the soil is getting like poorer and poorer, and there are no seeds from the big trees. And that's why even the trees and the forest has to be like nurtured and really taken care of with the right kind of mindset and not just consuming. And this was something that bothered me very much when I was a child, and still it bothers me like how my mother sees all this, because she is a generation that was born in the 40s after the Second World War, and they have this really odd view that everything in the world is for them to consume, and if nothing is left after them, it's just how it is. I was questioning my mother about that long time ago, and she just said that when she was born and when she went to school, there were always too many children in everywhere, and that was because those generations after the Second World War were really big. So when people came back from the front and went back to their homeland, they really made children. And that's why there were like these huge generations that are bigger than the generations now. And they were somehow thought that they can grab anything because they are so massive. And I didn't understand that. It was impossible for me. So how can you consume everything and even face the fact that maybe there is nothing left for us or our children or our grandchildren, and you do it on purpose and you say that you don't care? I don't know, have you ever heard of anyone to really talk about that? It's so easy to say that, oh, there is so much marble, there's many hills of marble, but it's going to end in the end. And I don't want that. I want those hills to be there. I want to be able to do my consuming in a way that doesn't change the world permanently, or at least I want to try. I know that I'm filming this with the iPhone, and I know that there are materials that are from China, and they are from land, and they are not renewable. And I can't help it. I cannot live in a stone age, but I can try to, for start, acknowledge this, and I hope that everybody else acknowledges this, and start, like, little by little consuming in a better way, and at least try to get the things that you really need, and not just something that somebody else tells you that you need, or tells you that you want, or tells you that you are happy if you get something that they suggest, when you know in your heart already that it's not going to happen. And if there is something that you know that you really enjoy, you know that it's on use every day, like, I don't know, lighting that fabulous dress that you saw and you knew that if you have it, you will wear it every other day of the year, or it would be the best dress for summer to wear, then be happy and get that. And you can get that if you skip all the other choices, all the things that people tell you that you need. And then you can be happy, because then every time you put that dress on, you see that, oh, I look so good in this. Because it's not worth to be depressed. It's not worth to, like, deny yourself with all the happiness and all the things that other people do too. And this is something that we need to be very concerned what we talk to children about these things. Because when I listen to my 16-year-old now, she's very, very concerned about what is going to happen to our planet, and how are things going to move forward, because there is so much news about global warming and what it does, and so little of the things, or so little of the positive thinking that what can I actually do, because 16-year-old cannot do much. That's just a fact. I cannot do much, even if I try. I can recycle, I can be more mindful consumer, but actually it's in a bigger hands. It's in the hands of the people who decide about the things in this world, and they are totally different than anyone in my household. So try to be mindful if you want to. This is, I don't say that you have to do or have to think like I do, but if you want to, then try to think what you really need. Try to enjoy what you have. If you have that car, then wash it and clean it so it's shiny and almost looks almost new. If you have a blush, then just Just wipe it clean and put it nicely to the drawer so it looks very nice when you go there in the morning and put it on your cheeks. Just by organizing things nicely, they seem more pleasurable. And when you really need something or when you really want something, then you can have it with your clear conscience. I don't know. I I started from somewhere and I ended up in here. This was I started to make this video and then my daughter got in and then we got talking and then I started to film again and then I noticed that my camera was not on and all kinds of rambling. So I don't know, did I talk everything in this bit or just in the previous or did I talk the same things here 3 times in a row? I don't know, but I hope you have a great day. I see you soon. Goodbye.